Our next guest will be George Khairallah. Please welcome George Khairallah from JR Technologies.
Thank you.
With NDC, a bus you should care about.
Thank you. Slides. How is everyone? I do a lot of presentations on NDC, and I always start with one thing. How many of you ever heard of NDC before? Raise your hands. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. First time I did this, there was no hands. So I think after 2.5 years, there's a lot of improvement. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about us, JR Technologies. This works? Yep. So we've been involved in NDC since we started organizing workshops at IATA. Some 80 companies brought together, organized in workshops. I was on the first steering group. And we worked with these 80 companies. Every 2 months, we had a meeting somewhere in the world to produce schemas. And the first NDC schema, 15.2, the IATA standard, came out in September 2015. And after that, I said, OK, I'm out of the schema making business. I'm exhausted. 2.5 years of extensive travel, going around the world, talking, convincing, and making this work. So in the end, it works. So JR Technologies is also involved with the passenger distribution group, the Simplify the Business think tank at IATA. Simplify the Business is one of the task forces that actually invented the concept of NDC a number of years ago before it came to life. JR Technology also is a subcontractor of IATA. We do the schemas, so whenever business requirements come out, we convert that into XML and do that. We did the first pilots with American Airline. We did the first order management system. We gave a couple of sandboxes with our order management system to IATA, so when airlines want to practice and see what it looks like, what it feels like to have an order management system, they can hit those sandboxes. We also have one that just went into production with Insulair. We started it as a pilot, and now it's a functioning system. So between now and the end of the year, they should have they should have a connected a number of portals to it, and then start using it fully in production. So it has been a very exciting journey, a lot of learning, and we are very, very excited about NDC, and I'm going to try to share my excitement. You kind of wonder, why are people excited about schemas? Okay, two guys walk into bar and say, hey, may I have an order of schemas, please? What is a schema? Why are we excited about that? Well, schema is nothing if you don't have a strategy behind it. So what is that strategy? What are we looking at? Why did we put 80 companies in rooms and made them travel for 2.5 years to just have a set of schemas? What do we want to do? The idea behind the NDC project is we want to fight commoditization. And how do we fight commoditization? It's a easy thing to say, but it's not an easy thing to do. So there are trends. Today, airlines mostly are going this way, upwards, towards fare family, branded fares, towards preset bundles. And what's very interesting about this is that you can have a competitive advantage of a few months until the next guy copies you. Some other airlines went horizontally. So they said, I'm going to have a seat, and then I'm going to have everything a la carte, and then the passenger can go and choose how they want to customize their experience. Well, it turns out that after a year or so, everybody else copied that, right? So The competitive advantage is not lasting in those methodologies. The only way to make it last is to be extremely agile and go to the diagonals. What you want is the capability to personalize the bundles that you are offering and to do that dynamically. And if you're thinking, okay, what is GR Technologies doing here? Besides that, Lufthansa system invited me. Thank you for inviting me. You have the best of NDC, but also you have the best of pricing and revenue management with Lufthansa system. So when you put those two sets of brains together, you really can go to places where no one has gone before. You can really do that. The other aspect of NDC is that when you're personalizing, you want to protect your brand. It is extremely difficult to delegate to a third party dynamic bundling, like you do today with pricing. So you file a fare, you open dynamic availability, and any third party can, many third parties can calculate pricing and distribute on your behalf. But when you move into a dynamic universe, it becomes extremely difficult. The advantage of having your own capabilities is that you can have the passenger reach a point where they have a unique and consistent experience. We heard about mobile earlier, and it's very, very, very interesting. You have people who walk into stores today. Neiman Marcus gave that example. They are shopping on their mobile while they are in the store to find where stuff is, to find if there's a discount or if there's something interesting. So it's a common experience, and you want the passenger, whether he's shopping on the airline.com, or whether he's shopping on an online travel agency, whether he's shopping on a kiosk at the airport, wherever they are, they have a consistent experience. And the consistent experience is not only by seeing you have blue seats or orange headrests and what the product look like, which is extremely important in terms of product differentiation, but also to see that your process is different. The process of buying, the process of refunding, the process of changing, the process of how the product is reaching the customer, how the customer is interacting with this airline. So you have the process differentiation that's extremely important, and this you can only control when you are in control of how your supply is being distributed. To achieve it, the consistent brand experience, you need supplier control, and this is very important. So let's look at the impact of this. In the middle, you have an NDC platform. This NDC platform becomes the center that everybody talks to. So you can have your online travel agencies, your travel agencies, your GDSs talk to it, but you can also have your airport check-in application talk to it. You can also have your mobile devices talk to it. You can have your in-flight crew tablets talk to it. You are talking to a system that has real-life, real-time data about your passengers. And you have access to business intelligence that today you do not have access to. When you centralize, you're going to impact a lot of systems. It is not a journey of 3 months. It is a journey. And you impact those systems. Here, I just put a little bit. And we're using a color coding in these slides. So Lufthansa system is orange and GR Technology is in blue. They match. So you can see that your NDC platform has a merchandising and bundling capabilities. It has an offer management and order management system. So this is the cluster that makes an NDC platform. And it is in between two very important pieces, which are the pricing and revenue management and the revenue accounting. Because when you start dynamically pricing, you need to be able to account for this stuff, right? To know where the money is going. Because I think we're in the business of making that money, right? So this is everything in the company will be impacted. And I can only think of one other transformation in the life of a corporation that has a similar impact to an NDC transformation, and that's ERP. If you think of it, enterprise resource planning affects every desk in your organization, and it transforms your IT landscape. This is what an airline IT landscape looks like today. There are so many third parties involved. It is so difficult to reconcile data sources. If you want to do business intelligence, you're working with batches that can be anywhere between 1 day and a month old, right? It's very, very difficult to achieve this. And when you're finished with your NDC transformation, you're going to look like this. And you're going to tell me, okay, George, anybody can take a mouse and make blue boxes and round green circles and little orange dots. And well, actually, this came from Intel. They published a white paper on when they went through their ERP transformation. They call it Creating Business Value Through ERP. And this is how they transformed their landscape. And I really recommend this, to read something from outside our industry so you can have a look at what other people are doing. And you will find a lot of similarity between this kind of transformation and an NDC transformation. What did they gain? I'm sure that what Intel has gained are things that you want. First one is velocity. Today, you want to make a change in your distribution systems. How much does it take? A year, 2? You have a brilliant idea. I know one airline, I don't think they're here, they wanted to put a limo chauffeured service for their business class. It took 2.5 years. It's a great idea. It shouldn't be that complicated, but it took 2.5 years. Right? So you want the speed. You have a great idea, you want to stay ahead of your competition, you want to be able to do it in no time. Agility. You want access to your business intelligence now. We're talking tomorrow afternoon about real-time dynamic pricing, about things that sound futuristic, but they're not futuristic. Achieving an NDC transformation using an order management system gives you the ability and the access to real-time information about your passengers, what they are doing, what their habits are. And that can be and is being integrated into pricing and revenue management and the system that gives you the immediate intelligence of what's going on with your marketplace. We talk about NDC in save money on what we're paying to GDS. I can tell you from personal experience with others, it's the least of the problems. If you can achieve velocity, agility, cost efficiency is probably 10 times what you're paying to GDSs today. The ability to be close to the passenger, the ability to gain loyalty, to get your passenger to love you. This is worth a lot more than saving money on the GDS. And you can achieve that only if you have access to the information and if you have the agility to talk to your marketplace in real time. And this is why we came together, 80 companies with IATA, in early 2013, and invented a schema so that when you have a strategy like this, you can actually deliver your message. You can show your passenger what your process is. You can show your passenger what your product looks like. You can show your passenger the impact of real-time understanding of who they are talking to. And this dream is not really a dream, it's reality. This is what IATA writes about NDC. And we're just going to read the 3 lines out of it, not the whole thing. Transform the way air products are retailed to corporation, leisure, and business travelers by addressing the industry's current distribution limitations, product differentiation and time to market, access to full and rich air content, and a transparent shopping experience. NDC delivers that. So, come and see us. Profit Line Dynamic Pricing Solution booth. Our booth moved. If you can find it, you get a gift. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, George, for sharing your thoughts with us.